On November 13th, Felix Unger was asked to remove himself from his place of residence. That request came from his wife. Deep down, he knew she was right, but he also knew that someday he would return to her.
No, incorrect.
With nowhere else to go, he appeared at the home of his friend Oscar Madison.
Another bad move.
Several years earlier, Madison's wife had thrown him out, requesting that he never return. Can two divorced men share an apartment without driving each other crazy?
No and no. They can't share an apartment, period. Of course, they drive each other crazy. Are you kidding me? It's not Odd Couple reruns. It's the Neutral Ground. Corey Johnson back at you on a relatively hot Tuesday. I mean, kind of typical New Orleans summer, I guess. It would be a hot summer day. We'd be going, boy, what a hot one we got today. It's 95. That's what we'd be saying. It's 95 and it feels like 102, 103. It's a blistering hot one. But tomorrow's going to be a scorcher. We could see 101, even 102 degrees on the thermometer. And these feels like could approach like $120 tomorrow. Tomorrow is a very dangerous heat day. Lots of water, agua, H2O. H2O and AC, if we want to go with initials and the like. AC, air conditioning, lots of that. People you know that don't have air conditioning at their house, that do not have air conditioning at their house and are elderly or have health issues, are vulnerable, go pick them up. Make sure they are taken care of. Just getting in your air-conditioned car is a relief. Go to the fast food restaurant. Go shopping at a Rouse's. All 65 of those Rouse's are air-conditioned. They're chilling. It's like refreshing walking in one. You're like, oh. Lakeside Shopping Center. I mean, in the neighborhood, dozens of libraries, public libraries in Orleans Parish, all air-conditioned. Community centers. No, today's a hot, typical day. 95 feels like 102, 103. Tomorrow, a scorcher. Like I said, we could see 101, even 102 on the thermometer. Uncharted waters tomorrow for about 99% of us in New Orleans. Never seen, felt heat like this in our lifetime in New Orleans proper. And for some, that's lots of decades, 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. For some old timers out there that have seen a lot of New Orleans over lots of decades, or as Buddy D would say, decades and decades. No, tomorrow could be historic. Might be hottest day on record in New Orleans, especially the humidity and feels like all together. Pontalba apartment, the council tightens the ordinance. I mean, it's kind of funny. It really is. You have this Pontalba apartment that everyone knows is for official city business. No mayor or councilman just, hey, having problems at home. I got some friends coming in from out of town. Gonna take the Pontalba for a few days. Never happens. And no one ever has brought in their own stuff, their sheets, their towels, their shampoo, their, a bag for overnight, a dop kit or something. Maybe. I don't know. You ask all these mayors, Mitch Landrieu, Mark Morial, Sidney Bartholomew. None of them recall spending the night there, much less taking it over as, quote, my apartment, like it's the governor's mansion or the White House. So right off the bat, the mayor claiming it as her apartment, moving in for free, taking this perk, she knows it's wrong. It's what can I get away? It's this Hilario Edwin Edwards mentality. Where's the ceiling? Let me get right up against it. What I can get away with. What I can get away with. That's the mentality. It's just tiring in Louisiana and so accepted by these characters like A.G. Crowe. I'll talk about this character in a few minutes on the North Shore. But first things first, the Pontalba apartment. Mayor knows it's wrong, moves in anyway, moves in full bore. Gets busted moving in, wants to blame everybody else. It's the city-owned camera, the French Quarter Corporation's camera, public access. Fox 8 used the mayor's own video, essentially, to bust the mayor. And the mayor's like, you're stalking me, whatever. It's like, no, use city-owned video. City video, your video from your French Market, mayor-appointed board. It's all on you. It's so ironic. It's funny. So then the council has to come up with an ordinance. The mayor can't live there. That's not enough. The mayor snakes around that ordinance. Just how can I be deviant, pull a Derek Shepard and snake around this? So then the council tightens up the ordinance. And this time there's no snaking around it. But today the mayor vetoed the ordinance as expected. I want that free perk. I want that Pontalba apartment. I want to stay there. Today, Junket Cantrell vetoes that ordinance. The city council will have a veto override vote coming this Thursday. In less than 10 minutes, Eugene Green, Councilman District D, Lakefront, Treme, Gentilly, 7th, 8th Ward, a little bit of New Orleans East. He's going to join us. He voted against the ordinance. He voted against it. How will he vote this time around? The clear majority of citizens, black, white, yellow, green, whatever, want to see this ordinance passed. It's hard to not feel that on the street. Eugene Green will join us. We'll see if he's going to stick with his vote or go in a different direction this time. Tomorrow at 4:20, Freddie King, absent from last time, the last vote, with a positive corona test. How does he plan on voting on Thursday? Freddie King will join us tomorrow at 4:20. So stick around for Eugene Green in about 8 minutes. Freddie King tomorrow. Thursday, the council plans a veto override vote because today the mayor vetoed the ordinance. I am staying at the Pontalba. Last time you had a 4-2 vote for the ordinance. Freddie King absent. Oliver Thomas and Eugene Green voting against. Leslie Harris, J.P. Morrell, I'm going blank. Helena Moreno, all Joe Giarrusso, all voting for the ordinance. Yeah, A.G. Crowe, kind of another hack politician from Louisiana. I'm sure he's like a nice guy, might be married to the same girl for 45 years. I have no idea. But he's concerned about himself more than the citizens, just full of you-know-what. Buys this island by Pearl River with an investor, and they want to just kind of keep it like it is, like it's always been, pine forest, nature preserve type thing. But all of a sudden, priorities change, and we're using the power A.G. Crowe has, the people he knows, to get the zoning changed, where all of a sudden it's going to be, a street going in there and lots cut up and people building houses on this pristine island that has a lot of Pearl River folks concerned. No, A.G. Crowe has the know-how, the stroke, the connections, the political nonsense and BS to get this done. This is a guy who was against the IG for St. Tammany Parish. St. Tammany still doesn't have an inspector general, someone to scrutinize how public money's being spent. That's mind-blowing to me. 250,000 people in St. Tammany, fastest growing, most affluent parish. So many public projects going on. Don't you want someone scrutinizing how your money's being spent? Or do you trust these folks like A.G. Crowe? Yeah, now this Pearl River nature preserve type island, changing the zoning so he can build homes. A.G. Crowe's legacy, that dopey Naturally Nolans Bridge. That's A.G. Crowe for you. The dopey I-10 twin span, Naturally Nolans. Just stupid. Worthless. And now trying to kind of jam this Pearl River development. Like, oh, our priorities have changed from nature preserve where we don't make any money to cutting up into lots where we all make millions of dollars potentially. Just politicians love just talking nonsense. It's like the salesman, the hotshot salesman, no matter what you say, they just keep rolling along. Keep rolling along. Keep rolling along in a good way. Young's Dry Cleaning, 83 years since 1940. Tired of your dry cleaner? Want to experience the best, and I mean it, the best in the region. YoungsDryCleaning.com. Check them out online. YoungsDryCleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
River Cities. Total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
I can speak from experience. If you wear prescription glasses, like sunglasses, need sunglasses, any kind of eyewear, Art and Eyes on Magazine is special. It's unique. It's like a store that you might see, a boutique in New York or San Francisco or Paris. Really incredible stuff that you'll find nowhere else. Nothing at all like the mall stores or Sunglass Hut or something like that. Art and Eyes on Magazine, in between Napoleon and Louisiana on the river side of Magazine. It's not in Eugene Green's District D, but just about everything else is. It's a big district. Eugene Green, Councilman, City of New Orleans, joins us again on the program. How are you, Eugene?
Just fine, Corey, just fine. And yes, we do have a lot going on in our district, and also there's a lot of resources, universities, high schools, and businesses, and I'm pleased to represent this district.
You were reading my mind, because I was like Lakefront, Gentilly, Treme, 7th, 8th Ward, a little bit of the East, and then I'm like, I think it's UNO, SUNO, I want to say Dillard, the Baptist Seminary. Am I right on all that?
Yes, it is, and 8 high schools, and also I want to include the 9th Ward because it includes Delgado, for example, and
wow,
and some other institutions that we kind of take for granted, but that are very much a part of our city, and that's why I'm pleased when I look at the neighborhoods that are grown up around these institutions that I represent this district.
Does Delgado fall in your district, or is Marconi the line?
Marconi, City Park is the line, as in Charlton. It's really Wisner. So, for example,
so Delgado barely falls out of your district.
It falls out, right? But it's in Councilman Jeruso's district, doing a fine job representing, the council whenever Delgado might have a need. So yes, and I certainly have attended events there. It's part of our educational apparatus in our city that we're proud of. But yes, 4 institutions of higher education in District D, plus the entire lakefront community, everything north of Allen, Tucson. So we know about the resources there, and also just the nice park facilities. So it's a great district to represent. We have a lot to do, especially in certain areas such as the Desire area where there's too much vacancy and too much blight, and certain areas of the 9th Ward, St. Roch Bend. But we're working on those areas. And I don't know if you see our newsletter, but we're working on things day by day, maybe a 10-year rebuilding plan to make those communities as attractive as all the others in the district.
I saw UNO is going to get that track behind the Health and PE Center there on Elysian Fields and Leon C. Simon. You already got Ben Franklin. What, you getting the new Haynes School built out there too? So they're going to use it. It's 2 high schools, UNO, the Lakefront Gentilly area. That's a nice addition.
I have to have you do public relations for District D. You're right. We have a lot of those resources. And you're right. We have a new Hines School that's being built right now on Leon C. Simon, technically.
Yep.
And just a lot of other resources. The Greek Hellenic Center is in District D. I could go down the list of institutions that are in District D. As I mentioned, the high school, St. Augustine High School, Holy Cross, Brother Martin, Kennedy, Carver, Clark, great institutions. They down 35, which is now located at 4,000 Ron Eagles Way. They're having a program in the on September the 18th that's going to highlight their 106th year, some of the positive things that are going on. But Corey, we've built single-family home communities, or at least some multifamily interspersed within those communities. But the bottom line is that we've built places where people live and have built parks and schools. It really is kind of a very important district relative to what our city is all about. People who raise their families, who use our parks, who the school support, and they choose many times to stay right here in the city of New Orleans, and it's a great asset for our city.
Yep, no doubt. Eugene Green's with us, District D. They pay rent, they pay a mortgage. They don't go move into the Pontalba for free. All right, this one's easy, Eugene. This one's real easy. She should not be in there. We know that from the get-go. The council passes an ordinance saying as much. She snakes around it. The council comes back and passes an ordinance that tightens it up. She vetoes that ordinance. Thursday, there'll be a veto override vote. Last time, you voted against the ordinance. How do you plan on voting Thursday? And I hope it's the opposite way that you voted last time so we can put this thing to bed and that Pontalba's out of play. That seems obvious and fair.
But Corey, I can put it to bed another way, to be very honest with you. Let's not worry about it so much. At the end of the day, mayors for decades have had the key to that unit and have used it in whatever way they want. What's being asked, and look, obviously people will have an idea of where I'm going to go. What's being asked is that we permanently take away access to this unit for every mayor going forward for the next 300 years. And the Pontalba has existed for a long time. Mayors have simply gotten a key. There's been no regulations relative to its use. And honestly, in terms of the ordinance that we passed right now, what we've seen is a report from an investigative reporter saying that the mayor was seen around the unit leaving at 12 a.m., going in at 12 a.m., 6 a.m. I'm not ready to give up long-term access to that unit, which has in the past been used for sometimes dignitaries, sometimes visitors to our city. I really don't think it rises to the level where I would take away permanent access to it. But the bottom line is that I will tell you, I haven't voted yet, but I will tell you that I'm not going to change my vote. At the end of the day, Corey, mayors 300 years from now, if they want to use it a certain way for diplomacy or for guests who might do our service, a city service by providing information to people when they leave our city, I'm open to taking that opportunity, having that opportunity available to our mayors. Remember, we haven't ever questioned until now the mayor getting a key to that unit and using it.
Because it was never egregiously abused like this. My unit, living there, moved in, her soap, her towels, her sheets. No mayor's ever done it. It's for official use, not personal use. But real quick, Eugene, you mentioned the television report real quickly in there. You're skeptical of that?
Well, since we passed the ordinance, it said that the mayor could not sleep in the unit overnight. The dates on which you know for a fact that she slept overnight. But look, Corey, at the end of the day, still, I really bring it back to the permanence of the decision that we're being asked to make. I believe there are other ways to work out.
Are you there, Eugene? We lost you for a second. Are you there?
Uh-oh.
No, we got you now. We got you now. I'm sorry.
Well, my issue is the permanence of the decision that we're asked to make.
I get that. I want to ask you about that.
You get that. I don't think that it's to that level, Corey, to be very honest with you. I don't.
Well, what about just the reference to the television? Why did you reference the TV investigative report like you're cynical or jaded on that?
I don't know how many nights, for example, was spent in the unit since we passed that ordinance. And it's important to recognize that that's what we passed an ordinance. But I'm also saying that wasn't determined that was going to be the penalty if there was violation of it, that it would be taken away permanently. Maybe there are other ways.
I mean, Eugene, you're in the minority. I think you're in the clear minority in your own district. I think you poll your own people. They don't want her staying at that apartment for free. She's not entitled to it. That's what she does. Yeah, I agree with you. In one essence, what I think you should do is vote for this ordinance and then in the future say, hey, we need to take that one unit out of rent again and use it for official business. No one can spend the night. They don't move their stuff in. But the mayor abused that. The mayor abused that privilege, and you want to allow her to continue to abuse that privilege. And you said, let's not worry about it. I've had you on when you've talked about like three-wheelers and tint. We need to worry about the little things.
Well, that's not a little thing. You're talking about people doing three-wheelers and taking over intersections that are like, this Pontalba use doesn't rise to the level of something.
It's totally equal to it. It's totally equal to it. It might be worse because it's the mayor, Eugene. You know, it's the mayor, not some clown kids. That sets the tone. No. The mayor's going to go to the Pontalba. I'm going to go do 360s. New Orleans doesn't give a you-know-what. It
I
yells
think
that.
I don't think that New Orleans cares so much. But at the end of the day, I'll take that up with the voters who might be concerned about what the vote is. That I do not favor taking years for the next 300 years access to this unit. And Corey, let's make it clear: there's supposed to be a waiting list. And what's suggested is that it would go back on the market, go to one of those people, so it's gone. It's gone forever. There's no, unless I jump somebody in front. There's no go back and take another unit. There's a waiting list for that.
Oh,
unit.
no, there is.
Gone.
But then the next unit that became available, you could just not put that one back into commerce.
No. Oh, that's politics at its worst. No, if it's going to be market driven, it's going to be market driven. No, you just can't make that exception and say, oh, now we have a new mayor, we're going to change it a little bit. No.
Well, how do you make sure the mayor doesn't spend the night there? Or that someone has keys and you, the mayor, anyone has to access the keys a certain way. I don't know. I think it.
Well, maybe that's discussion, Corey, but that's not on the table for Thursday. What's on the table for Thursday is put it on the market and rent it out to one of the persons who is on the waiting list. Corey, that is a pretty straightforward decision.
No, you're right.
Negotiations that you're right. No, and I got to tell you this, Corey, and because you have a listening audience, and it's important to understand, Eugene Green is not saying abuse this situation, but what I am saying is what you have said is to make a decision that a
Wait, Eugene, I lost you. What I said is to make a decision. What? Go ahead. We lost you for a second.
That is going to limit the use of the unit by a mayor for 300 years. If you're going to follow the premise behind taking the unit and putting it on the open market and collecting the amount of money that needs to be collected and going to the waiting list. That's important. You do have a waiting list. How are you going to decide 2 years, 5 years, 12 years from now that you're going to pass up that waiting list so that it goes to the mayor? No, I'm not for taking it away permanently. I'm for working it out other ways, but I don't have that option that's on the table. We are voting on whether or not we're going to uphold or satisfy, or oppose the veto. But it's important to recognize, and let's not beat around the bush. It's gone permanently if we don't sustain the veto.
Eugene, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much.
Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer. For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe, in the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30, Lebanon's Cafe.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Hey, when you got to paint in New Orleans, you go to Helm Paint and Decorating, 7 locations, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore. Do it online. Pick your Benjamin Moore colors. They'll help you with what you need to get the job done, and they'll bring it to you. Free 2-hour delivery so you can keep working. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, do it once, do it right. Helm Paint and Decorating goes in the no-brainer category. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, 766-9480, 766-9480. In case you missed it, Eugene Green, Councilman District D, just joined us on the program. Rob is in New Orleans. Good afternoon, Rob.
Yeah, that was really bizarre. I mean, first of all, he's saying, oh, this is going to be gone permanently. Who cares? I don't know one person in this. Rob, we want the mayor to have access to that facility. And it's not just about LaToya Cantrell. It's about any mayor. You might like the mayor. You might not like the mayor. And speaking of mayors, I saw Sidney Bartholomew on the news say he never did this. And he said no previous mayor ever did it. And Corey, you talked about her bringing her own towels and soap in there. Let's get into the elephant in the room. She was bringing Officer Vappy in there, and the speculation is rampant. Her husband just died. That might have had something to do with it. Might have had something to do with it. Might not have had something to do with it. But the thing is, that was completely inappropriate behavior.
Well, that part I'm not. For me, what's worse than that? I mean, not worse. I mean, I don't want to get into the personal part. The Vappy thing about being on the clock and that kind of thing is concerning to me only. Family and friends, out-of-town friends using it. The mayor acts like it's her apartment, and it's just abuse of power. The Louisiana Constitution, I mean, legally, you can argue it. We know ethically, morally, it's wrong. The city council passed an ordinance. She goes around it. Because she can, so they have to, come back and do it a second time. I mean, it's a joke. Everyone knows the reality. We can all pretend. We can come up with legal BS nonsense, Yesterday, I had Troy Henry on. He said something. I was like, oh, okay, Mr. Attorney. I mean, we can all, and I'm not busting on Troy. I'm just saying we can all come up with these math equations that work, but reality, and no one's buying into that kind of stuff.
Well, speaking of math, before I get into math, some other small points. Mr. Green just brought up the television cameras. I'm tired of hearing about that too, because that was not a news station's television cameras. Those were the city's cameras.
No, I didn't. That's why I questioned him about that. Like, I mean, the IG did an investigation. We had an auditor in Louisiana questioning it as far as was it legal or not. I mean, it's not Fox 8 and Lee Zurich, and it's the city-owned cameras. No, I didn't like that reference. Like, it's the media and they have some agenda and we're questioning if it's true and what dates. It's like, watch the video. I mean, I think Eugene Green is making a mistake that I think when it's re-election time, this kind of thing could come back and haunt him.
I don't know anyone that agrees with him, but a couple of more small points. But I did not hear from him. He kept saying, we want to give that open access to every mayor for the next 300 years so that the dignitaries can stay there. Why can't they craft something where can't dignitaries stay there, but the mayor doesn't have the keys to it?
I think that's what Eugene's arguing. I think his argument is, man, this is nowhere near perfect. I don't think he's saying let someone use it as an apartment. He's saying previous mayors have always had access to it. Like, hey, we'll go to the Pontalba for 2 hours and watch the event at Jackson Square. Something like that. This mayor has totally abused it. So for me, eliminating it and revisiting later, and as far as taking one back into commerce, Rob, it's easy. He was acting like, oh, that's politics. The Pontalba needs to be investigated right now. The city Pontalba and the state, there needs to be an independent board that reviews the applicants, a process where they literally get in by time on the list, not preferential treatment, who they know. It should be like you can't have a homestead exemption somewhere else. It has to be your permanent residence. Most of them are part-time units. I mean, the Pontalba is corrupt and crooked right now to begin with, the state and city-owned. It's a joke. It's heavy with politics. It's a bunch of rich, affluent, wealthy people with stroke that rent most of them. Very few are the actual people on the waiting list. So taking one back for the city to use again would be very easy, even if you had a legitimate board that ran it and controlled it, and it wouldn't be political at all. So, no, I think the argument is sort of weak from Eugene, but I respect Eugene, but I think it's a bad move, and I think it's going to cost him in the future.
Corey, another political thing about the Pontalba is the commercial space. Did you know that in the lower Pontalba, there was a visitor center there that all the businesses and tourism, the restaurants, et cetera, had their brochures in there, which is paid to, you pay the state for that, the tourism promotion. And Billy Nungesser shut it down, and a restaurant's going in there owned by a friend of Billy Nungesser. So there's that. I don't know if you knew about that.
No, I didn't. So, that's interesting.
Yeah. So last thing you said, Matt, I heard Oliver Thomas on your show once say, if we need $35,000 that would generate, we're in trouble. As a taxpayer and a voter in this city, I'd rather see the money from the Pontalba go to the city, But one last thing about math, it looks like it's going to stay the way it is, because don't they need 7 votes on Thursday? Or
well, no, they don't need 7. You just need a majority. You need 5. You need 65, 60, 2/3 of 7. So that's like 4.6. You need 5 votes. They've got 4. They've got 2. At least 1 we know. Eugene Green's not changing. I doubt Oliver Thomas is going to change. I'm having Freddie King on the program tomorrow at 4:20, Rob. He was absent the first vote. He's the deciding vote. He didn't vote the first time because he had a positive corona test. So he wasn't in chambers. He gets to vote on Thursday. Hopefully he does. And he's the deciding vote because for it, you've got J.P. Morrell, Helena Moreno, Joe Giarrusso, and Leslie Harris. So Freddie King's the deciding vote, really, and we have him on the show tomorrow at 4:20.
And it's his district. But yeah, so anyway, I agree with you. And if Eugene Green was saying that he wanted to be open to dignitaries, but that's not what I was hearing. I thought he wanted it to be like a blank check for the mayor. But why can't they find, it doesn't sound too complicated, to have it be available to visiting dignitaries, which I do agree is important, but not just let the mayor treat it like a free hotel room.
Yeah, exactly, like a free apartment. I mean, it's a total abuse. We know it. This in denial crap and like having to, argue the point is old and pathetic. It's a joke. Everybody knows crazy. It's not right. That overweighs the next 300 years of mayors being able to use it. Pass an ordinance where it'll come back into play in the future. It's not a big deal. But kicking the mayor out of the free apartment is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. It is. All right, Corey, well, keep up the good work. I'll keep listening.
Rob, thanks. I appreciate it. No, Eugene Green said, let's not worry about it. But Eugene Green and I are in agreement on you got to worry about the little things. And I mentioned the four-wheelers and tinted windows and folks doing the drifting and all that. The mayor taking the Pontalba, it's the same type of thing because she's the mayor. She's the leader of the city. It just yells at, man, anything goes in New Orleans. Hell, the mayor just takes this apartment that isn't hers. You can do anything you want and get away with it. White collar, blue collar crime, you get away with it in New Orleans. So no, it's very important that you bust folks riding four-wheelers in the city. Anyone. There should be an ordinance. A four-wheeler isn't allowed in Orleans Parish, period, end of story. The only way you can have a four-wheeler on the ground in Orleans Parish when you're moving it from like your garage to the trailer, from the trailer to the repair shop. You can't be on it, riding it around anywhere in your neighborhood to test it out, to try it out. Illegal, confiscated, gone for good, seized. Tinted windows. First time, a ticket. Second time, like $1,000 ticket. Third time, man, 3 times we caught you with the tinted windows. We're confiscating the vehicle. Dumping illegal tires out in New Orleans East. What's the little GoCam called? GoPro? Solar panel, battery pack. Hook it to a tree like hunters do when they're seeing if the deer coming to eat the feed, the corn. Bust the guys dropping tires off. Have a motion detector. Have the state police pull over the truck heading off I-10, maybe in Slidell, heading back to Tennessee, Alabama. Just dumped 2,000 tires off in Michoud. Seize the truck. These are simple things. These aren't real difficult, hard decisions. They're easy. Drifting. You saw the Atlanta cop, rams the car, jumps out, yanks the dude through the window onto the hood of the cruiser and cuffs him. No, the mayor of a city taking a city-owned residence as their own. I mean, it's morally and ethically wrong just from the get-go. And then we know it's against the Louisiana Constitution now. The Office of Inspector General investigated it and said it's wrong. The city council majority agrees, passes an ordinance. The mayor, with the entitlement mentality she has, snakes around it in just a deviant-like fashion. Old Junket Cantrell. They pass a tighter ordinance. She vetoes it. And the veto override vote is Thursday. We just had Eugene Green on. He will vote against the ordinance, letting the mayor stay. Freddie King is the deciding vote. He'll join us tomorrow on the program at 4:20. We'll see which way he plans to vote come Thursday. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa, and now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you about 15, 20 minutes ago. New Orleans City Councilman District D, Eugene Green, joined us live on the program. He and I obviously disagree on that Pontalba apartment ordinance vote, his vote. Green says he will vote against overriding the veto this Thursday, allowing Junket Cantrell to stay at the city-owned Pontalba. I, of course, would be voting like J.P. Morrell or Helena Moreno or Leslie Harris or Joe Giarrusso. Freddie King joins us tomorrow on the program. He was absent from the original vote. The original ordinance passed 4-2. The mayor vetoed that. I shouldn't say the original. The second ordinance passed 4-2. The stricter, tighter ordinance that kicks the mayor out the apartment. She vetoed it. Freddie King was absent. 4-2 vote. The ordinance passed. The mayor vetoed the ordinance. Thursday is the veto override vote. Freddie King will be there. How will he vote? Eugene Green's going to vote the same way. He's going to allow the mayor to stay at the Pontalba. Oliver Thomas, we don't know, but I'm assuming the same way as he voted originally, allowing the mayor to stay. Freddie King did not vote. How is he going to vote? He's the deciding vote. To override the mayor's veto, 4-2 won't cut it. You need 2/3 of the council, 2/3 of 7. That's 4.6 or something like that. So you need 5 votes. You need Freddie King. How will he vote? He did not vote last time because he tested positive for corona and was not there. He'll vote Thursday. We'll have him on tomorrow at 4:20 and ask him how he plans to vote. I think it's a key vote for Freddie King, especially if he wants a political future. I think this will be used against Oliver Thomas when he runs for mayor. It's going to be used against Eugene Green if he runs for re-election or at-large council. You know, why are you allowing the mayor to keep this free perk? That is egregious and obvious. No one's questioning it. Yeah, I don't think Eugene Green questions it. He doesn't want, to take this thing away that's always been there. This mayor's abusing it. It's time to take it away. You can reassess if it's needed later. You need a place to bring dignitaries? Bring them to Gallier Hall. Readily available. City-owned. About 20, 30, 40 times the size. Small rooms, big rooms, lots of options. Go to Gallier Hall. A lot of other city entities don't need the Pontalba. But if you want it, revisit it later. But let's end this hemorrhaging right now. That's obvious to me. Obvious. And I think obvious to most people. And I think Eugene Green and Oliver Thomas are going to regret that vote politically in the future. I remember when the Crescent City Connection vote was coming down, and I had on the Gretna mayor. What was his name? Oh, what was the Gretna mayor's name? I forget. Like Freddie or something like that. Anyway, I asked him, I said, how are you going to vote for the bridge? He said, I'm going to keep the toll on. I said, you're keeping the toll on? He said, yeah. And I said, do you plan on running again for Gretna mayor? Because I can promise you're not going to win. He didn't run again. And he was really upset with me for saying that. I think I was promoting China Blossom, a great Chinese restaurant on the West Bank pre-Katrina. He went in there and said that I shouldn't be promoting. Why do you use this guy, Corey Johnson, all that? The owners of China Blossom told me that. We laughed about it. Of course, they kept using me for advertising and promotion because it worked. What was the Gretna mayor's name? Like, a decade ago. Gretna mayor 2010. Gretna mayor 2012. The tolls were just taken off in 2013, so he was the Gretna mayor in 2012, 2013. It's like Bobby or Robbie. Ronnie Harris. Ronnie Harris. No, he was, I had him on the show. I was like, so you're for it? And I was like, my God, I'm like, the people most affected by it are people in your district. They're paying for it every day. I know, we need it for maintenance. He said something like, I get $150,000 from that money to cut neutral ground grass in Gretna. I said $150,000 of the millions of dollars raised, and most of it comes, just laid it all out. It was just a crappy argument on his part. And then I just said, do you plan on running again? He's like, yeah, well, I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, well, don't, because you can't win with that. And I don't think he ran again. But yeah, Ronnie Harris, I remember that. And I remember the China Blossom thing. What did you say about Ronnie Harris? What do you mean? I came in here and said we shouldn't be using, why use that guy Corey Johnson to advertise the restaurant? Because he's effective and gets people coming into the restaurant. That's why. If it didn't work, people wouldn't do it. Like charity, handing out free money. Geesh. It's not easy. Radio. You got to have an audience. You have to have advertisers, clients. You have to have creative ads that, bring people in. That when they're in, the place actually has to be good or they're not coming back. It's a serious wheel rolling. Everybody's got to hold up their end of the bargain. Yeah, you're right. Tuesday afternoon. If you missed the 4:00 hour, you missed a lot. You can catch it on YouTube, Anchor, iTunes, Spotify in just a few minutes. Eugene Green, Councilman District D. He will vote against the veto override Thursday, allowing the mayor to stay in the Pontalba apartment. He's not changing his vote. Tomorrow we'll have Freddie King on, who is the deciding vote on this. Should be an interesting show tomorrow as well. What's that, Blue Boy? The 5:00 power hour is next. Should be action-packed as well. I hear you, buddy. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday. Pretty hot today. Tomorrow, a scorcher. I'll fill you in on that and more next.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers Breitling time, 5 p.m.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson.
Did you have any problem with Angel Reese? There was a photo of her coming off the bus, holding the phone with the...
And that was a bunch of bull. That was Photoshop, that young lady. That's social media for you. How dare somebody do that?
No, I was wondering if it was Photoshopped or if it was real.
You just got the real answer from somebody who was there.
It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Come and knock on our door. Come and knock on our door. We've been waiting
Jack
for you.
Tripper.
We've been waiting for you.
I mean, outside of Suzanne Summers wearing, thin tops,
Come and dance on our
Jack
floor.
Ritter was the star of that program.
Take a step that
He was hysterical.
Take a step that is
Really good actor.
lovable space.
Sling Blade, he was fantastic.
Company too.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you on a Tuesday afternoon. Muy caliente. Tomorrow's going to be worse. It's hot today, like 95, feels like a little over 100. Tomorrow's going to be a scorcher, like possibly historic. We could see 101, maybe even 102 on the thermometer. The feels like could approach 120 tomorrow. Tomorrow is a very, very dangerous heat day. Unprecedented times. I've never in my life, 5+ decades in New Orleans, some of you less, some of you more time here. Have you ever seen this hot of a summer, these temperatures, and this dry of a summer, this little bit of rain? I've never seen either one, much less the combo in my life. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. No, but dangerous. Uncharted waters for probably 99% of us tomorrow. We've never seen or felt heat like this in our lifetime in New Orleans. And for some, that is decades, like living through the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. Never seen anything like this. If you know people that don't have air conditioning and are elderly or vulnerable, have health issues, go pick them up tomorrow. Drive them around in your air-conditioned car. Go eat at a fast food restaurant in the air conditioning. Go to a nicer restaurant in the air conditioning. Go shopping at Rouse's for groceries in the air conditioning. Go to Lakeside Mall in the air conditioning. Go to one of the New Orleans public libraries, a community center. Get in the air conditioning, especially between 9 a.m. and about 7 p.m. on a day like tomorrow. It's going to be dangerous heat. Could be record highs. Thermometer 100, 101, 102 maybe tomorrow. In New Orleans, Orleans Parish. Crazy. Crazy. The Pontalba apartment, it just continues to stay in the news because the mayor can't let it go. The mayor can't go rent an apartment somewhere. I don't get it. I don't get it. The mayor knows she shouldn't be staying there for free. We all know that. There's no question there. Anyone that does just the slightest bit of looking into this realizes there's not a single mayor that moved into the Pontalba. Hard to find one that says, yeah, I've spent a night or two there, a night or two, not 2 years. My apartment, my sheets, my stuff. I live there. My artwork, my place. Never before. Just total abuse of power against the Louisiana Constitution. Easy to argue. It would be hard to argue that it's not. It's a perk, and it has a value. The mayor might get indicted for this. The feds might be all over something like this, Pontalba, coupled with the belligerent attitude towards it. So she knows right away it's wrong, but because of the entitlement mentality, like the junkets, she does it anyway, doesn't care. Almost people knowing telling her it's wrong gives her more power to do it. Very well aware her 15 minutes of fame are up after this gig. It's only down from here. The mayor knows it. Not getting hired by a company because she's the former mayor when she doesn't produce or bring in money for that company. It only works when you provide something. So the mayor moves in. The council, first off, Fox 8 finds out about it because of people living in the Pontalba saying the mayor lives here. She's here all the time. She's moved in full time. What's going on? So they notified Rafael Goyeneche at the Metropolitan Crime Commission, Lee Zurich at Fox 8, others. The mayor claims Fox 8's stalking her. This is so funny because it's the French Market Corporation, which is just a quasi-governmental BS board. Mayor controls it, appoints every board member. It is a mayor-controlled board. Their cameras, public cameras, were the ones that Fox 8 legally accessed to find the video of the mayor. So in theory, the mayor's own city cameras from the board of the group she controls, a political hack group, this French Market Corporation, those cameras busted the mayor's, her own cameras. It's kind of funny. So Fox 8 doing nothing except accessing video that the city has, the mayor's video. So the council, the Office of Inspector General, they all step up, say it's wrong against Louisiana Constitution. They pass an ordinance, can't stay at the apartment. The mayor snakes around the ordinance. So the council tightens up the ordinance. It's just mind-blowing. And the mayor vetoes that ordinance. Thursday is the veto override vote, this Thursday. The last vote, the tighter ordinance, the second ordinance vote, passed 4-2. Voting for it, Joe Giarrusso, Leslie Harris, Helena Moreno, J.P. Morrell. Voting against it, Oliver Thomas and Eugene Green. I had Eugene Green on the program last hour, Councilman District D. He reiterates he will vote the same way. Will not vote to override the veto. Will allow the mayor to stay at the Pontalba for free. We got into it, just disagreeing. I respect Eugene Green. I'll have him on the program again. We totally disagree with this. You can check it out. Had him on in the 4 o'clock hour. The last vote was 4-2, passing the ordinance that the mayor has vetoed. For the council to override the mayor's veto, they need 2/3 of the council. 2/3 of 7 is like 4.6. So 5 votes are needed. 4 won't cut it. Freddie King didn't vote last time because he had a positive coronavirus test. Wasn't in the chamber. He will vote on Thursday. Tomorrow, the day before Thursday's vote, he'll join us on this program at 4:20. We will ask Freddie King how he plans on voting on Thursday because he's the deciding vote. And this kind of vote, besides just doing what's right at this very time, can affect a person's political future as well. So tomorrow at 4:20, Freddie King on the program live. Basically, the vote, the deciding vote, if the mayor stays in the Pontalba or has to go. Amazing. Amazing. That this is still out there, that I don't know what Eugene Green and Oliver Thomas are thinking. A.G. Crowe, one of those kind of, I don't know, like Hilario types, just sort of, a good old boy, I guess. I'm sure people that know A.G. Crowe, he's a good man. He's a fine man. A.G. Crowe is the perfect example of someone that should have never run for politics because he doesn't really have leadership skills. He doesn't have some wide open thinking, isn't a visionary. It's just some dude who wanted to run for office. And then once he got in office, just did a bunch of dopey things that stand out for me. Just how he fought continuously against an inspector general for St. Tammany Parish. Just was fully opposed to having an office of inspector general scrutinize how public money is being spent in St. Tammany. I don't live in St. Tammany, but I know it's got 250,000 folks. I know it's the fastest growing of the 64 parishes in Louisiana, arguably the most affluent, most money, most wherewithal. Lots of public projects being built there, as many as any parish in the state. Lots of public money being spent. It's a bunch of New Orleanians that moved to St. Tammany. The majority of St. Tammany folks were not born in St. Tammany. They were born in New Orleans, Metairie, South Shore, most in New Orleans. So you have these voting folks that come from the corrupt South Shore, come from corrupt New Orleans. I'm not saying the citizens, but we vote in these characters that run, the same jokers run. And you've seen the problems from the sheriff to the, chief law enforcement in St. Tammany. I mean, it's corrupt. It's Louisiana. It's Metro New Orleans. No, A.G. Crowe against an IG for St. Tammany, doesn't want scrutinization. And now this Pearl River Nature Preserve island that he and someone else bought, they were just going to keep it as a nature preserve. Their priorities have changed. They're getting it rezoned, cutting it into lots, and it ain't going to be a nature preserve. It's going to be a neighborhood. This is the guy that brought us the dopey, naturally Nolans Bridge. What else do you expect from A.G. Crowe?
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread. Yeah, you right. Some of you may think I am full of it, but you can call Trey in and ask him if I picked up a to-go order for lunch today. I'm knocking out some business on the North Shore. Zipped into Trey in. I was about 20 minutes from the Causeway, getting back on with my toll tag. Hooray! And called Trey in, pulled right in front. They walked the order right out to my car. You got to love it. I got the hot pepper chicken. Really good. Stir-fried chicken, spicy, some green onions and, white onions, green bell pepper, yummy. Hot pepper chicken, one of about 20 gourmet Chinese lunch specials, Tuesday through Friday. Tuesday through Friday, gourmet Chinese lunch specials at Trey Inn. By the way, they're open for dinner right now through Sunday night. Yummy. Trey Inn in Mandeville. How can you go wrong with that? Don't forget the Tung Cho sauce. Their signature sweet and spicy, yummy sauce. Hot today. Speaking of sauce that's spicy, hot today. Tomorrow's going to be a scorcher. Dangerous temperatures tomorrow. 101, 102 on the thermometer in New Orleans. That's what those meteorologist types are telling us. Eugene Green joined us from District D. He's going to vote like he voted last time, allowing the mayor to stay at the Pontalba. Tomorrow, Freddie King will join us on the program. On Thursday, the veto override vote will happen at the city council. They need 5 votes. They've got 4. Which way will Freddie King vote? We'll find out tomorrow. Hopefully Freddie King does the right thing and just send out the message that the person at the top of the pyramid in New Orleans public government can't take stuff for free. Not going to allow her to take stuff for free. Because, boy, what kind of message does that send? I mean, when you're worrying about, like, car drifting and, four-wheelers on the street and tinted windows, we're trying to worry about every little crime in New Orleans. So it sends a message that you can't get away with this crap. I'm not talking about pulling over people walking in the French Quarter drunk and arresting them or some marijuana offense. They already decriminalized marijuana. I'm talking about enforcing crime that is a problem, like car drifting, four-wheelers, tinted windows. They're smaller, but they're neglected, and it sends a message that, hey, it's a free-for-all in New Orleans. There's no car drifting or four-wheelers in Jefferson Parish, St. Bernard, on the West Bank, on the North Shore. But Orleans Parish folks come from other states, other cities. It's a free-for-all. No, that message, hey, the mayor stays at the Pontalba for free. The mayor goes on all these junkets. It just sends a crappy message. And we know the mayor, Freudian slip, correct slip. We know the mayor doesn't care. The mayor, what was the Michelle Obama line? They go low, we go high. The mayor's line is they go low, we go lower. We go lower. Where's the gutter?
I have no shame. I have no pride. I fully understand my limitations as a person. Only in New Orleans could I ascend to the rank of mayor. And this 15 minutes of fame thing for me, done after this term. There's nowhere to go. I had the nonprofit set up where I could pull about 90% of that money every year, live pretty damn good. But I pulled that $1 million plus out of the Wisner Fund, got busted for that, had to put that back. So now everybody's got their eye on my nonprofits. No, the mayor knows her 15 minutes is up. That's why the junkets all the time with just no care, not a dollar brought to the city, not a job created, because the mayor doesn't care. The Pontalba veto does not care. Doesn't care what you think. And then there's enough folks in town, because of black and white and Republican, Democrat, that are going to defend the mayor by default because she's black or female or a Democrat or whatever, just like folks will defend someone white who's a Republican or male. Hell, look who's running for governor and leading the pack in this state. Same thing as the mayor, just different ideology. Same thing. Try to divide. Don't talk about the real issues. No way to problem solve because you're not even talking about the real issues. Just the other side sucks. They're the enemy. Vote for me because I'm not them. That's LaToya Cantrell. That's Jeff Landry. Just different political ideology. That's the crap we have to live with. That's terrible. Thursday is going to be a big day. Speaking of terrible, A.G. Crowe, now this doesn't surprise me, former Louisiana politician from the North Shore, opposed to an inspector general for the North Shore because he was a politician. He didn't want to get scrutinized by some outsider, wants to keep getting away with the gimmicks he does. This is the guy that brought us the dopey, naturally Nolans Bridge, that A.G. Crowe. Well, he's got some plans for this Pearl River Nature Preserve, this island. Him and an investor a few years back. I mean, who knows how the sale even went down? That's a big question mark. Was it a legitimate sale? It was like $150,000 for this like island in Pearl River that is historically been just a nature preserve, forested, wooded, nothing there, not electrical, no plumbing, no nothing. A.G. Crowe, because priorities change. We bought it just to keep it as a nature preserve, but priorities have changed. Now we're going to turn it into a bunch of lots in a neighborhood. And Pearl River folks are freaking out. A.G. Crowe has the political wherewithal and stroke to get the zoning changed quickly. Claims it's for the benefit of the community. It's for the benefit of A.G. Crowe. Our priorities change. Yeah, from making zero money to making millions of dollars. And against the wishes of the local Pearl River community. But if you think A.G. Crowe's worried about the local community, there would have been an inspector general years ago for St. Tammany. Still not one. It's mind-blowing. One of the most affluent parishes, if not the most public money being spent. You want someone scrutinizing that. How the politicians spend your tax money, you want someone scrutinizing that. Not A.G. Crowe, not Mr. Naturally Nolans Bridge. Now he's going to screw over some Pearl River folks, turning this nature preserve island type thing into a neighborhood, because it's the best thing for Pearl River. Okay, people in Pearl River disagree. Not too far from Pearl River, Rouse's Markets, in your neighborhood or right next door to your neighborhood. On the way home from work to the house, you might pass 2-3 Rouse's Markets. They're everywhere. I've got about 4 Rouse's Markets within 10 minutes of my house. 4 of them within 10 minutes of my house. Best quality, best price, best selection, Rouse's Markets. South Louisiana and New Orleans Grocery, Rouse's Markets. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, you right. Hey, we're heading to straight down 530 in about 50 seconds. That means adios in about 50 seconds to our television audience statewide. If you have Cox TV, the #1 television provider in the state, We're on Yorview, Louisiana. That's Cox Channel 4. Every weekday, 4 to 5:30. 90 minutes. The first 90 minutes of the 2-hour talk radio program on TV. Cox Channel 4, 4 to 5:30. Hey, you Charter, a.k.a. Spectrum television subscribers all over the state, we're on Spectrum Channel 333, 4 to 5:30. 90 minutes of fun. Hey, television audience, we'll be back mañana, straight up 4 o'clock. You can always continue to check out the program on YouTube right now. The Nutri-Ground with Corey Johnson till 6. Live streaming, KoreyTalks.com. Of course, on the radio, oh so fine, 93.9 FM till 6 p.m. We keep rocking and rolling. Corey Johnson on a hot day. Tomorrow is going to be even worse. A total scorcher. The big news of the day. Today, Junket Cantrell vetoed the city council ordinance that essentially kicks her out of the Pontalba apartment and puts that apartment into the, I guess, group of other city-owned Pontalba apartments on the list rented to the public, into the public market. No longer a city-owned, city-controlled unit. It was always for just a New Orleans perk, kind of unnecessary, but there, no one was complaining because no one abused it. It was a city apartment for unofficial use. Something going down at Jackson Square, maybe dignitaries or, people from out of town, business folks, you're trying to lure business here, that they're on the balcony overlooking the festivities, something like that. We all know it was never meant as the governor's mansion or the White House. No mayor anywhere. I mean, all these mayors have been questioned. Sidney Bartholomew, Mark Morial, Mitch Landrieu, I think even C. Ray Nagin, none of them spent the night at the Pontalba. And if one did, they're like, maybe a night or two. I don't really remember. It was never moving into the Pontalba. Your sheets, your clothes, your artwork, your toothbrush, your towels, your plants, the mayor moved in. My apartment. She refers to it as my apartment. We all know it's wrong. We all know it's wrong. Today, Junket Cantrell vetoed the ordinance. I'm staying in my apartment. I feel I'm entitled to this as mayor. It's a free perk I deserve as being mayor of New Orleans. Thursday, the council will vote to override the veto. The original ordinance, the mayor just snaked around it. So the council had to come back and tighten up the original ordinance. That ordinance passed by a 4-2 vote. Freddie King was absent with a coronavirus positive test. To override the mayor's veto, you need 2/3 of the council. That's like 4.6 of the 7 members, meaning you need 5. You need 5. So Freddie King is the deciding vote. The guy who did not vote last time, 4-2 vote. Oliver Thomas voting against it. Eugene Green, who joined us last hour from District D, voting against it, says he'll do the same thing again, will not change his vote. Freddie King is the deciding vote. Council President Helena Moreno voted for it. Vice President J.P. Morrell voted for it. Leslie Harris voted for it. Joe Giarrusso voted for it. 4-2. Mayor vetoed it. Override the veto, you need 5 votes. You need Freddie King, or you need Oliver Thomas. Eugene Green said he will vote the same in the 4 o'clock hour in the program. He's out. Oliver Thomas, I'm assuming he's voting the same. Why would he change his vote? Freddie King, how is he going to vote? Maybe we find out tomorrow at 4:20 when he joins us live on the program. Hey, they've been doing it since 1896. Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants for generations. Leidenheimer French bread. Chances are that po' boy, I had a great shrimp po' boy the other day. You can bet it was on Leidenheimer French bread. 5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread. For over 125 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread. The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread. Leidenheimer Baking Company. Pretty amazing. For over 125 years. And still baking that Leidenheimer French bread you love right here in the city of New Orleans. Yeah, you right. A.G. Crowe, Pearl River folks, very upset. Him and a investor. It's kind of funny. If you're investing in something that you say you're going to keep as a nature preserve, how is that an investment? I guess an investment in mankind doesn't seem like A.G. Crowe. $150,000. They purchased some island in Pearl River. It's always been like a nature preserve. People going up and down the river, forested island. They love it. Never been anything else. A.G. Crowe purchases it, says he's going to keep it as a nature preserve. Now his, quote, priorities have changed. Priorities changed. And A.G. Crowe called up some political pals and got the zoning changed. Now they're dividing it into lots, and it's going to become a neighborhood, like a modern neighborhood. And Pearl River folks are furious. But North Shore folks, I warn you all the time, Orleans, Jefferson, South Shore, state of Louisiana, these John Alario, Edwin Edwards, Mark Morial, Bill Jefferson, these jokers we vote for that are clearly more concerned about themselves, not civic-minded. Heitmeyer. Did I mention John Alario? Not worried about you, worried about themselves, friend and family. A.G. Crowe's the same way. Against the Inspector General. Brought us the Naturally Nolans Bridge. Just dopey. Do nothing and dopey. And worried about himself. And that's not good for St. Tammany Parish residents. Tomorrow's going to be a scorcher. If you need air conditioning help, you know where to go. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Deliberto, River City's Total Maintenance Studios. River City's Total Maintenance. Honest. Air conditioning experts that come immediately. That's all you need to know. I know I say this every time I talk about them, but what am I supposed to say? They got the coolest air. They got new trucks. They're nice guys. They work hard. You know, they're honest. They're incapable of screwing you around. They're experts. They diagnose it right away. And they come immediately because your AC's not working and it's hot. So that's why I say honest air conditioning experts that come immediately, because that's what they do. River City's Total Maintenance, NOLAAC.com. You have air conditioning problems, NOLAAC.com. That's all you need to know. NOLAAC.com. Tomorrow is supposedly, some meteorologists are saying it could be the hottest day on record in New Orleans, thermometer-wise. 101, 102. The 99, 100's like a given. Hard to find a meteorologist that's predicting anything around 99 or 100. It's all like 101, 102. That's on the thermometer. So the feels like tomorrow could be high teens, like 120. Like dangerous, very dangerous heat day tomorrow. Beyond oppressive. Stay out of it if you can. Get to work early or do it late. Try to avoid the like 10 to 6, 7 o'clock thing. And like I've been saying for the last few weeks, people that are vulnerable, elderly, health conditions that don't have air conditioning, make sure you're picking them up. Get them in the AC car. Go eat fast food in the air conditioning. Go to a restaurant that's AC. Rouse's Markets are air conditioned, obviously. Lakeside Mall, local public libraries, community centers. Get folks that have health issues, elderly, folks that are vulnerable in the air conditioning, and hydrate up. You can't have enough water. Can't drink enough water. Supposedly it's what? Normal day? I mean, you're living in Alaska and it's cold. 8 to 12 8-ounce glasses a day, like a half gallon to 3/4 of a gallon of water a day you're supposed to take in. No, beer doesn't count. Mixed drinks with a little water, a little splash of water, the ice melting doesn't count. Coca-Cola doesn't count. Mountain Dew doesn't count. Doesn't count. 5-hour energy doesn't count. Red Bull doesn't count. Water or something that, Pedialyte, something like that. Gatorade full time isn't really good. Too much sugar, too much salt, too much electrolytes. Anyway, stay hydrated. That's key. Muy caliente tomorrow. Literally a scorcher. Potentially record heat. Big story of the day, Mayor Junket Cantrell vetoed the stricter ordinance that would have kicked her out of the Pontalba and put that apartment back into public use on the public market, someone renting it. Thursday, the city council will vote to override that veto. They need 5 votes. The stricter ordinance passed 4-2. Freddie King was absent because of a positive coronavirus test. He will be there Thursday voting. How he votes, we do not know. He has not publicly said. Tomorrow, he publicly joins us on this program at 4:20. We will definitely ask Freddie King how he intends on voting this Thursday. Hopefully, he does the right thing, and that apartment is put on the public market, and the mayor is ousted from the free perk. In my opinion, the mayor's in trouble from this already. She's made her own bed. I mean, if you ask me, will Mayor LaToya Cantrell one day, like C. Ray Nagin, be indicted by the feds? If you ask me one way or the other, I would say yes. I think there are too many signs of deviant behavior with this mayor. And when you're investigating 1 or 2 things, other things pop up. Those lead to investigations. The feds are taking their time. If you ask me one way or another, do you think this mayor will be indicted? It's not what I hope or wish, just fair and objectively. Do I think? Yes, I think she will be indicted. And I think this will be one of the things. This free perk to the tune of $35,000 plus a year that the mayor just took when it wasn't hers to take, and then did everything in her power to keep it, ignoring ordinance, vetoing ordinance, whatever. Hey, it's a Tuesday evening. What are you going to do for dinner? Lots of choices out there. How about Katie's in Mid-City? Lunch, dinner, Monday through Saturday, Sunday brunch, a taste of New Orleans, big portions, old school New Orleans stuff you love. From pizzas to po' boys, all kind of local fresh fish and seafood. Scott Craig loves keeping it local with the seafood, with veggie, fruit, everything you can get local, he gets local. It's Katie's, as New Orleans as it gets, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. Tonight for dinner, Katie's. Yeah, why aren't you at Katie's right now? The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
You're listening to The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
Cotton Bowl winning coach Willie Fritz joining us on the program. Have you ever been part of a game that great?
A lot of things happen in the game. You just don't know the script. You got to adapt and improvise. You just got to keep playing hard the whole time, and our guys did an excellent job of that.
How big is yesterday for the overall future of the program?
You got to have the guys who really have a burning desire to get quality education and also be a great football player. You know, you got to have focus.
You've always have embraced New Orleans. You've been a great ambassador for the city, for Tulane University.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. My wife and I just love it here in New Orleans. And just everybody, the city's just sensational. We just a dime for every person who came up to me after the game. I had tickets in the old Tulane Stadium. And, I've heard that a ton of times. And then, that's good that we're able to make some people happy.
That's Willie Fritz joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Roll wave.
The spirit of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on The Neutral Ground.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Yeah, you're right. Corey Johnson back at you. Hey, Latrim, the global manufacturing giant, is hiring. Go to their website, latrim.com, for a full listing of positions available. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, latrim.com. Dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of job openings, literally, at latrim.com. Hot today, tomorrow a scorcher. We could see 101, 102 on the thermometer tomorrow. The feels like could approach 120 degrees tomorrow. Tomorrow is a very, very dangerous heat day. Uncharted waters for like 99% of New Orleans. We've never felt this kind of heat in our lifetime. I mean, for me, 5+ decades, I've never seen this much heat sustained over this much time and this dry of a summer in my life. Never. Never. Hey, in the 4 o'clock hour, Eugene Green joined us, Councilman District D. He's going to vote to allow the mayor to stay in the Pontalba apartment. Thursday, the city council will vote to override the veto that the mayor put in place today. Today, Junket Cantrell vetoed the stricter ordinance that would kick her out the Pontalba and put that apartment back into the free market. There's a veto override vote coming Thursday. Eugene Green will vote the same way he voted before, just like Oliver Thomas, allowing the mayor to stay put. Freddie King is the deciding vote. How will Freddie King vote? He didn't vote last time. The stricter ordinance passed 4-2. Freddie King was absent with a positive coronavirus test. He will vote Thursday. How is he going to vote? Freddie King, his vote either allows the mayor to stay or kicks her out of the Pontalba and puts that apartment back into the public, sector, rented, leased. How will Freddie King vote? He'll join us tomorrow at 4:20 live on the Neutral Ground. We'll ask him that very question. We'll ask him tomorrow how he's going to vote. Thursday is the day he votes. Freddie King tomorrow on the program. You don't want to miss that. And if you miss Eugene Green, because we disagreed, we got into it a little bit. Nothing like, screw you, I hate you. Eugene Green will join me on the program in a month. I thanked him for joining me afterwards. He said, anytime. But we totally disagreed. I wouldn't say it got heated. I totally 110% disagree. And you can check that out on YouTube, Anchor, iTunes, Spotify, about 15 minutes into our YouTube podcast in the 4 o'clock hour. Hey, they opened their doors for dinner about 45 minutes ago. They roll till 9 p.m. tonight. Have you been to Fausto's Italian Bistro yet on Vets? People that have been, ask them. They'll tell you what I'm telling you. Some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian. You won't be disappointed. Authentic, priced right, great service, easy in and out, parking right in front. You folks that have never been to Fausto's, you drive by it all the time right there on Vets. What are you waiting for? Truly, some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian, New Orleans inspired. Tonight for dinner, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
That's what I said. That's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans, Leidenheimer French bread. Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Come on down to New Orleans' own Bourbon Street, the toilet of the Crescent City. Literally. Need to urinate? Pee right on one of the historic buildings. Need to vomit? It's okay. Throw up right in the street. Bourbon Street. Prostitution, drugs, strip joints, daiquiri shops, and trinket stores. The toilet of the Crescent City. Come on down. It's Bourbon Street.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us to you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa, and now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Hi, everyone. It's Tommy Wrong for AsbestosMoneyGrab.com. This is not, I repeat, not for folks with real asbestos problems. But if you're like me and were maybe taking a shop class in high school where you maybe breathed in some brake dust and you know for certain you're fine, but you're the type of person that takes advantage of these types of situations, get tested, lawyer up, and steal some money like me. Go to I'm not really hurt at all, but like exploiting the system for free cash.com.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. You know, you can always check out the program on YouTube. We're on YouTube Live. We're trying to build our YouTube channel, our fledgling YouTube channel. Click to subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Corey spelled K-A-A-R-E. I know. Scandinavian. Thank you, Mom and Dad. K-A-A-R-E. Our website is CoreyTalks.com. You can always email us, Corey@CoreyTalks.com. You know where to find us on TV, Cox Channel 4, Spectrum Channel 333. And boy, on radio, oh so fine, 93.9 FM, oh so fine. 93.9 FM. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting show like today was. We had Eugene Green on in the 4 o'clock hour. I recommend going to YouTube or Anchor, iTunes, Spotify, and checking that out. We totally disagree on this, Pontalba vote. The veto override vote is Thursday. The mayor vetoed that ordinance. Eugene Green's going to allow the mayor to stay in the Pontalba. Freddie King is the deciding vote. The council needs 5 votes. Freddie King didn't vote last time when the ordinance was passed 4-2 because he has a positive corona test. Freddie King joins us tomorrow at 4:20. We'll ask him how he plans on voting on Thursday. What's that, Blue Boy? The mayor knew day one moving into the Pontalba that it was wrong, and it never, ever should have come down to this years later. You're so right, Blue Boy. Criminal behavior. Blue Boy, you're right on the money. See you tomorrow at 4 p.m.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.